Hello everybody, welcome back to the Giggle Line Model Railway. My name's Andrew and today I'm going to talk to you about tools. Yes, tools. Tools you need for your model railway. I had loads of tools, but I didn't have miniature tools, and I found out really quickly that you need some smaller tools. So let's get straight into this. I know you got your novices out there, your beginners. I know some of you more experienced model railway people are going to shoot me down, but I'm just going to tell you like I know it now, and what I've needed and what I've picked up along the way in my last few months trying to build this model railway. I mean, I started out in model railways when I was 8 or 9 or thereabouts. My wonderful brother and lovely father built an amazing model railway, hinged down from my bedroom wall, and I slept underneath it. And to be fair, I hadn't got the faintest idea what went into that. And speaking to my brother now, there was a lot more to it than meets the eye. And again, my father did loads of stuff that I didn't know, how to do, soldering and electrics and all the stuff, the modelling bits and bobs, servicing trains. So 55 odd years later, here I am, and I'm starting again. It's a little bit of a mystery. You've got to prize the information out of some people. I've got a great friend called Alan, who's amazing. I've met another guy called Pete on our local dog walks. Both very knowledgeable. My brother's an absolute mind of information. So between the four of us, I'm trying to get this done. I mean, Alan's been an amazing help with helping me construct the baseboards and putting the first line of track down, and I've learned from him, and I've sort of gone from there. But that's not to say I don't need help along the way. So don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. And also drop me a comment, because I might be able to help you, or get them to give me the information to help you. So, let's get on with it then. Tools, miniature tools. First of all, you will need a soldering iron. Very cheap, this one. I was told to get an expensive one. This is a cheap one. It does the job, okay? Along with soldering iron, you'll need solder and you'll need flux. I haven't got any here at the moment, but flux is a little like a waxy sort of substance. You put it on your tip of your soldering iron or the surface you're going to solder. You put the soldering iron on there and it cleans the surface and makes the solder stick to whatever you're trying to solder. You'll learn, you'll burn your fingers. I did. But you've got to keep trying. Even if you just practice makes perfect. And I'm getting there. My solder is not great. My friend Alan's brilliant at it, but he's been at it 50 years. So, practice. Soldering iron. And you'll need one of these. Don't just put your soldering iron on the surface when it's hot, because it will burn things. All right? Soldering iron goes in here. Okay? Just like this. Okay? Keeps it out of harm's way. And it's got a little magnifying glass. And some little bulldog clips. Can you see them? So if you want to hold things and solder and look through the magnifying glass, brilliant. Very cheap, Amazon. Drop me a line or drop me a comment if you need to know, and I'll let you know where they get them from. Okay. Right. First lot of tools we need. Mini files. Who'd have thought it? Yes, files in miniature. Absolutely, you need these. Okay. So when you cut track, which I'll come on to in a second, you're obviously left with a rough surface. You need your little mini file to fire off those little burrs and make it nice and smooth so you can put your fish plates on and join your track together. Cutting track. Dremel. But I've been reliably informed that Lidl actually do a very similar version to this at like a fraction of the price, with a cutting tool on the top. Cut straight through your metal flexi track. If you're laying fixed track, probably don't need one, but at some point you will. This is all flexi track you see on here, so I needed this. You need to cut your track to length whenever you need to, so this is very, very useful and very quick, may I add. What else we got? Track cutters. If you haven't got a Dremel, you can't afford one, or can't afford the one from Lidl, track cutters. Cut straight through a piece of track, no problems at all. And file it down, put your fish plate on. Again, a small tool. Pin hammers. Here's an old one. It's from my lovely wife Kim's father. He's passed away, but he left her a pin hammer, of all things. But look at the size of that. Very useful for getting in between the rails and banging your track pins in. I bought this one. It's just as good. You can turn it around and use the other end if you want it to get closer to the pin. With that in mind, if you can't get anywhere near that pin with your hammer, use one of these. These come in a set, as you can see. You put that end on your pin, hammer it down, and you'll get the last few millimeters in, so you can get your pin nice and close to your sleeper. So that's track. Now, regards track, you will need a craft knife with a very sharp blade, and be very careful to keep your fingers away when you're doing this. So when you're joining track and you've cut it, you need to take, I'll come on to this in another video, but you need to take the part of the sleeper away underneath the rail which joins it to the sleeper. Otherwise your fish plate won't slide underneath. It'll keep hitting that, so you need to cut it away with this. Okay, so this is a very essential part of track laying. So make sure you've got one of these. Or you can buy them in a pack of 3 from Toolstation or Screwfix, and then just throw them away after you've done one. So that's that. Track again. PVA and a brush. You'll need PVA, but you've got to stick your cork to your baseboard, or your foam underlay to your baseboard. And I normally decant the PVA into a little yogurt pot or whatever, put it on with the brush, and then stick my foam or my cork down to the baseboard. And in order to put your cork or your foam in the right place, you'll need a pencil, and your pencil will need to be sharp, so you'll need a pencil sharpener. I know it's basic stuff, but you'll thank me for it, because what use is a pencil if it's not sharp? So just, use a bit of common sense. These are the little things you need just to make your life a little bit easier. Retractable knife, always useful. I mean, you should have one at home somewhere. If you haven't, please get one, because sometimes you'll need this. Sometimes to cut cork when a utility knife, a scalpel isn't the best, the craft knife isn't the best, you need one of these. All right, so make sure you've got a nice stock of blades for both, and then you're covered. Regards track laying, you'll need one of these bad boys. A miniature drill. Yes, who'd have thought it? They come in miniature, and they also come with a set of mini drill bits in a packet. All right, they break easily, so make sure you get a couple of packets. They're USB charged up. You turn them on here, and off they go. Okay, very useful. Now you drill pilot holes in your sleepers if you're using FlexiTrack. So you can drill the pilot holes in your sleepers and put your pin in, and then pin your track to the baseboard. Otherwise you'll be fiddling about trying to get it through a solid sleeper. So these are very, very useful. They're also very useful, I found it today when I was modifying some wagons. Me modifying wagons, yes, I do that. Never done it before, but I managed to do it today, fit some new wheels, and they all run perfectly. But I wouldn't have done it without this little miniature drill. Okay, goes through metal and wood. Right, you will need to lay track, you will need a steel rule. The longer the better. If you're laying FlexiTrack especially and you want to get it straight, lay that along the edge of the track so you make sure all your sleepers are in line. Mine's not perfect, but it's not bad. So you'll need one of these. And I've got a smaller version as well, like this. Comes in a little geometry set with a little square and a, you know, the round one. Always very useful for drawing curves or whatever. So make sure you get some of them. Again, smaller. Oh, here's the set here, sorry. There you go. All comes in a little set with the ruler. Right, miniature screwdrivers. I don't know whether you can see that. I'll get one out actually. There you go. That's a miniature screwdriver. And it comes with 40 odd different screwdriver bits. You'll probably need only a few of them, but they're very useful to have. Especially when you get round to doing the repairing of trains and bits and pieces like that. Yes, you definitely need one. We'll go on to the servicing and looking at locos in another video, but I'm learning on that one, so you'll have to bear with me. But I fixed a couple, and my mate Alan's done a couple for me and showed me what to do. So I've got sort of a basic knowledge. So being a beginner and a novice, I'll try and impart some of that knowledge onto you. I don't know whether I've got, I went through files. Cleaning. Great for taking dust off your tracks and your sleepers. A little brush, not a makeup brush, it's not my wife's. You'll need one of these. You can get them in different sets. You can get cheap ones, expensive ones. This is a relatively cheap one. Great for dusting your trains. Toothbrush, soft. Use with some lukewarm water in a little pot and scrub the tops of your coaches or your wagons or whatever. It won't take the paint off and it won't take the transfers off. That's all you need to clean. So that's a must, quite a cheap thing to have. Fiberglass pen. Now here's a thing, never known, didn't even know they existed, but they do. And you just push down, or no, you twist this one and it comes out up and down, and you get refills for inside. Great for cleaning what they call a commutator, or your brushes inside your train's motor. But we'll come on to that. But great for cleaning any metal part, but just be careful of the fibres. They do get inside your skin and they do irritate a little bit. But a very, very useful tool. Again, it's not that big. I think that's about it. When you come to wire your track, invest in a pair of these, one of these. It's a wire stripper. Some of you might already have one, but they're invaluable. No need to have a Stanley knife to try and strip your wires. Get one of these, perfect. And if you couple that with these Wago connectors, you'll have a stress-free wiring experience. There you go. There are we, yeah. Your wires go in there. Can you see that? And then once they're in, you just clip that down like that. Let me show you there. Yeah, can you see that's cleared? Clip them all down, there you're done. You can get them in blocks of 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, or maybe even more, I don't know. I'm not an electrician, but somehow or other I've wired up this railway. And that's just by looking at YouTube and looking at Google and to see what's what. So we'll come on to wiring, we'll come on to train servicing and all that stuff. But at the moment, I think that's sort of covered all the tool side of things. I don't think there's anything else. You will need at some point, in case your PVA is not sticking for whatever reason, get some glue. Yoo-hoo, universal glue. Sticks most things to most things, okay? Or Hobbycraft do an all-purpose glue as well. I always keep one or two tubes in stock just to make sure, just in case I need it. It's great if you're sticking plastic to plastic, and some of your wagons will be plastic. Most of your locos will have plastic bodies, unless you've got some vintage ones like I have, which have got die cast bodies. But I'll come on to glues and adhesives in another video. But I think for now, I've covered most of the tools you need so that you can make a start. All right, and we'll go on to what track you need, what gauge you're going to do. I'm OO, some people like N. My fingers are too shaky for N, and I'm too old to, my eyes aren't good enough to see N gauge things, so 00 is good for me. Still tiny, but I can see. All right, so yeah, you got to make up your mind which way you're going to go. Track plans, if you want a theme, if you don't want a theme. Some of you ought to check out Jules Holland's miniature railway, model railway. Absolutely brilliant. All right, and everything inside Jules's head has gone into that model railway. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a smorgasbord of thought, really, and it's amazing. So if you get time, check it out. Right, now briefly I'm going to go on to the subject of what they in the model railway world is called a Neverwazza. 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 Never heard of it before. Got mentioned to me, so I'm thinking, what the hell's a Neverwazza? And basically it's a loco, could be any type of loco, that has been changed to look like another loco, so it never was that loco in the first place, as far as I'm aware. Some of you die-hard model railway enthusiasts might shoot me down on that, but as far as I'm concerned, that's basically what it's all about. For example, I was at my local club in Lincolnshire at Wopload, and it was a Neverwazza running session, and one of the members brought along a Pullman coach integrated with an Intercity 125. It looked like something out of Frankenstein's workshop, but it's a Neverwazza. It never was a Pullman coach, and it never was a 125. So it's mashed together in the middle, and it worked perfectly, and it looked fine. A bit crazy, but it looked fine. So I've done another Neverwazza, and I'll quickly show you if you can give me 2 minutes. Here it is. So there you go. I don't know whether you can see that. So this is a Ren 062 tank loco. It was a Southern loco in green. I stripped it down to bare metal, primed it, and then camouflaged it. My son-in-law printed me a 3D gun turret on the top, which I aerodyted on. So now you have a Neverwazza. It's got some soldiers on it, as you can see. Yeah, one Neverwazza, and I'm going to have a little running session with that now, and I've done some wagons to match it. So without further ado, let's get running some trains. Hi everybody, welcome back. Here we are then, running session about 3 or 4 minutes long. So coming round on your right is my Neverwazza, and goes the coronation class. Neverwazza coming round, there she is, all camouflaged, ready to join Mr. Trump maybe, I don't know, what do you think? Give me your comments below. Maybe he needs a steam train in his army somewhere. Here comes the coronation class coming down. Here goes the Neverwazza. Comes my class 20. All fully refurb Palethorpe sausage wagons. We love our sausages. There we go. Beautiful. There goes the Neverwazza. All running quite smoothly. You'll see I put some new track down. That little S-bend there's going to be a station in there, I think. But again, I'm a novice, so I just go with the flow. Whatever comes out of my head goes on the track. Some people follow themes. I'm not like that really. I was a designer in a later life, so in an earlier life, sorry. So yeah. I just go what's come out of my head. Whatever happens, happens. I don't follow any themes. I don't design my layout about certain places. It is what it is. You either love it or hate it, I suppose. But I think it's running well. Neverwazza's coming round again. Let's see if we can catch her coming round. There she goes. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the information about the tools. If you need any more information, please give me a shout, drop me a comment below. Please like and subscribe, obviously. It'll be great help to me. And I will catch you next time. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.